Welcome to or welcome back to WatchAdvisor on YouTube. It's Alexander speaking, your host. Today I do present you the star of this video. It is the IWC Schaffhausen Pilot's Watch Chronograph Edition Tribute to Reference 3705. Don't forget to subscribe and to hit the bell to get our latest notifications. Before starting and giving you also some information about the watch, this new Fliegerchronograph is referring to the reference 3705 from 1994. I want to first invite you to watch our pictures or my pictures I filmed from the watch, of the watch in different light conditions. And while you are watching those pictures, let me give you some information about the material. This chronograph is made out of Ceratanium. That's a mixture of zircon oxide and pure titanium. It's a material that IWC developed, that is light and robust like titanium, but also similarly hard and scratch resistant like ceramic. So to make or to produce or to manufacture this material, Ceratanium, in the first step, the case components are machined from a special titanium alloy. As I said, it's pure titanium. Thereafter, the parts are tutored in a furnace firing process, during which a phase of transformation takes place. And now comes the interesting part. The surface of the material assumes properties similar to ceramic, so really getting absolutely or almost absolutely scratch resistance with a surface that has a durability of more than 1000 Vickers. The case of this pilot's watch, or as we say in German, Fliegerchronograph, has a diameter of 41 millimeters and a thickness, I show you the watch from the side, a thickness of 15.3 millimeters, the so-called lug-to-lug distance. I always measure that for you. The distance from one lug end to the other lug end is 51 millimeters, and the entire watch, including the leather strap and the pin buckle, has a weight of 95 grams. So Ceratanium is the material. Cerataniums are the push pieces, the crown, and of course also the case back. It's not a see-through case back, as you can see, with some engravings. I will show you them just after I also showed you the last piece made out of Ceratanium, and this is the pin buckle. So really all parts are made of the new innovative material called Ceratanium, exclusive to IWC, and a material now that has or is being used more often with IWC watches. So which is the famous IWC chronograph this new version is paying tribute to? By the way, the watch is limited to 1000 pieces and will only be sold through IWC.com, meaning online. So the reference 3705, unfortunately, I cannot show you the watch, just pictures. Here they are. I once had a 3705 chronograph, but I sold it because I then wanted to buy a Doppelfliegerchronograph, and so I needed to get rid of one of my watches from my collection. So this famous 3705 chronograph was initially produced in 1994, and the Fliegerchronograph already existed in steel, yes. But then they said, okay, let's make a version in ceramics, and it was the first black zirconium oxide ceramic chronograph IWC made at the time being a very puristic watch, was not the same size, not 41, but it was 39 millimeters, and the thickness of the watch at the time being was 14.6 compared to the 15.3 I was talking before. So it was a highly innovative chronograph, and there are different informations I have concerning the quantities. Very low quantities were made. Why? The watch was extremely expensive. It costed 50% more than the regular Fliegerchronograph, and the 3705 was sold in 1994 for 6,450 Deutschmark D-Mark. If you divide it by 2, were around 3,000 euros. And in 1997, it was manufactured until 1997, about 6,600 D-Mark, Deutsche Mark, please, not euros. So this was a pretty spectacular watch, chronograph for the time being, and some say only 1,000 were made. I have some information from historians that tell me a little bit less than 2,000 were made, so the truth might be in between. I assume maybe 1,500 of the 3705 were made at the time being. Spectacular timepiece, and yeah, they are referring to it, and that's the new version, now made out of Ceratanium, and no longer, zirconium oxide, Zirconium oxide was the 3705 that debuted in 1994. What did not change with the new reference or the new tribute to the 3705 is the face of the dial. As we know, the IWC chronographs that at the time being used a Valjoux 7750. It was transformed by IWC. They did some changes on the escapement to improve chronometry, the accuracy of the watch. So the 7902 was the name of the caliber that IWC used, so these were not 100% identical with the Valjoux 7750. But this chronograph has the same geometry, the same design, aligning of the subcounters, etc. So you still have Monday, you have a day indication, you have the date indication, you have the classical look of a Fliegerchronograph as we are used to see it, but then attention to distinguish the new and the old movement, because this of course no longer features a 7750, but the in-house movement from IWC, the 69380 in-house chronograph. So to distinguish them, and on the first view is that the position of the running second and the 12-hour counter did change position. So the Valjoux has the running second at 9 o'clock, and now the running second is at position at 6 o'clock, and the 12-hour counter moved to the 9 o'clock position, and the 30-minute counter of course stayed there where it always was at 12 o'clock position. Still, as we were used to see it, is also what you read on the dial, IWC, and then you have Schaffhausen, so nothing changed here. And also to show you something that I very, very much like, the graduation on the dial was done correctly already at the time being in 1994. So the graduation, you see 3 little dots in between the second dots. These are there to really correctly display the 1/8 of a second, so the second hand swipes over the dial in 1/8 of a second. Yes, why? Because it is a 4 Hz chronograph, 28,800 semi-oscillations. The Valjoux was a 4 Hz, and of course the new IWC is also a 4 Hz movement. So the graduation, once again, that are those dots, those 3 little dots in between the second dots, they were there already correctly done from IWC in 1994. I can't show you here in live the new IWC 6938 movement. Internally, they call it the rock, meaning that's really a chronograph caliber they developed to really do what it should be, to be the machine or the power source of all kind of chronographs. It's really a very well designed and manufactured chronograph. This is a column wheel chronograph, has a bi-directional winding rotor, Paul winding system, and it builds up a power reserve up to 46 hours. And for the specialists among you, a 20.3 escapement, so very powerful and really strong escapement that is able really to withstand shocks and different, let's say, things that such a chronograph may do with you when you are in an active lifestyle. So the chronometry, the accuracy of the watch is really, really good. As I just mentioned, the IWC chronograph caliber is a column wheel operated chronograph movement in difference to the Valjoux 7750. And what you immediately feel is the sensation or the haptic. When you start the chronograph, it is different. It's much softer. It is something you learn to feel in your fingertips, I want to say. When you have lots of chronographs in your hands, you feel that difference when you stop a chronograph by pushing on the start-stop push piece. There is a little bit of a difference in between a column wheel and a cam-operated chronograph. The cam needs more force, so you need to press more, and the point where you start and stop is not as defined as it is with a column wheel. It is not a flyback. This is what I wanted to say whilst I was talking about this little haptic difference. So there is no flyback function. Nothing happens if you press here. So you have to stop and then you reset the chronograph. If you want to do this, there is no way of doing it whilst the chronograph is operating. So running. So let me also show you the date, and the date, I will just go back a little bit with the hour hand to get free visibility on the day and date disc. I want to quickly show you this. Have a look. I just need to be sure. Yeah, there I'm in the right position, and you will see this is the date disc moving, and you can see all the numbers. I will quickly run through until back to the 28th. And if some of you are speculating because there is written für Montag, maybe Monday, yes, it is an English day disc. IWC does no longer offer, as they did in the past, they offer day discs in different languages. I'm not sure, but you had them in Italian, in French, in German, in English at least. As you're going to see, if I turn the crown in the other direction, you will see Tuesday, and so on, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Monday. I thought I leave it for the first pictures on Mon, because some of you say, hey, they do a German. No, they do not. This ist Monday und das ist kein Montag, also das ist keine deutsche Datumscheibe, to say it in German, for those who are watching and speaking German. But IWC had them, as I just said. And now also, of course, as I always do, is follow me for the date change at midnight. There is a security today, so you cannot damage the movement anymore. This was something the older generations of movements had when you were operating the date change whilst the hands or whilst the watch was in between 10 in the evening and 2 o'clock in the morning. So no more risk. You can change the date and the day whenever you are in the mood of doing it, so the movement has a protection. Now please watch quickly. We are approaching, and you can see, there you go. So there is a kind of period before 12 o'clock that you see those two discs already moving, and maybe some 10 minutes after midnight, then both more or less in the same moment, jump and show the next day. So this is a screw down crown, of course. The case is waterproof 60 meters, 60 meters. And I kept it open to show you something. It is that absolutely, I wanted to call it German engineering, but it's Swiss engineering. But Schaffhausen, the city of Schaffhausen, is on the border of Germany. Now, it is really, when you talk about mechanics, there is that expression, German engineering is Swiss engineering, but this feels gorgeous. You wind out, you unscrew the crown, you take it out in its different positions, and it really feels stable. There is no shaky feeling, nothing. That's really very, very solid engineering, as it should be with a watch. You push it down, immediately it finds its way and screws down, so it's really as it should be. No gimmick, no joking around here. On the crown, also interesting, is the Brobos Schaffhausen logo of IWC Schaffhausen. And for those remembering the good old times of IWC Schaffhausen, there was a fish symbol on all waterproof IWC watches. So the old ones had a fish here. This is the Brobos Schaffhausen logo here. And the old ones, they had a fish. So indicating 60 meters, 60 meters of waterproofness. Here it is. You can clearly see the fish. So the fish moved away from the crown, but was and is still on the case bottom. And also in the early days, they had the fish on the case bottom. Here you see 6 bars, IWC tribute to 3705, then you see the actual reference, no, that's the actual number of the watch, and then you see the space where the limitation will be engraved. This is, of course, not the watch that will be sold, that's pre-series I got for this video. So you see 000 out of 1000, but this will be the limitation, 1000 pieces, and as I mentioned before, sold through IWC.com online, and I expect the watch, even though it is pretty expensive, it is sold for 12,800 euros in Austria with 20% VAT, to be sold very, very quickly. Why? Because this is a absolutely gorgeous 41mm chronograph, ultra light through the material, good looking. Readability is excellent. Watch, here please, watch the night shot. Can you see it? Incredible, good readability also on the dark conditions. So really a gorgeous watch. And now come back to light. It looks good, it feels good. That Ceratanium surface is absolutely matte. No mirroring of any light. You have nada, nothing. Niente, rien, there is no light reflecting, so it's really kind of a stealth watch. And it is, let me call it the modern 3705 that already the original, when they did it in black, in ceramic, was nicknamed kind of a stealth watch, or it was nicknamed stealth watch. But this more with that new material now is really pushing the iconic 3705 to a new level, absolutely a new level. And let me, of course, also talk about, yes, I almost forgot, of course, the watch as the glass, because I was turning the watch, you see I'm turning it and I saw the glass, and of course is secured against displacement by drops in air pressure. This is a feature that all IWC Flieger or pilot watches have. So in the case of an air pressure drop if you are in a pressurized cabin, or if pilots are in a pressurized atmosphere, and if the pressure drops, so these glasses are secured against that. And of course, the watch features a soft iron inner case for protection against magnetic fields. And this would protect in case the watch would not have those indications on the dial, meaning those big holes here would offer a protection up to 80,000 ampere meters or 1000 Gauss, but due to the fact that the watch has holes in the dial, even if it is soft iron, the dial is made out of soft iron. Due to the holes, the watch approximately features a protection up to 50,000 ampere meter. There's also something made in Austria on the watch, as you can see here, made in Austria. That's the strap. The strap is delivered by Austrian company Hirsch, and this is a specialist company producing and delivering OEM straps to lots of watchmakers in Switzerland, Germany, and around the world. So a highly specialized company delivering some really very, very good looking and also in terms of quality, excellent quality straps. So you can have a quick look. I just give my pointer away so you can see it. That's the strap behind. And now if you ask me, is 12,800, that's pretty much money. Could be pretty much money, but still it's an exclusive watch, 1,000 pieces only, and it is a real limitation. It's not one out of. I hate these limitations, one out of, because it doesn't say, are they really selling all those? Did they sell more? They can't. In theory, they could cheat. I don't know if they do it, but they could. There's a clearly marking. I showed it to you. On the other side, it is numbered out of 1,000. So you get an exclusive watch. It is a reference to a iconic IWC Fliegerchronograph or pilot's chronograph. It was an iconic watch. It is still an iconic watch. It is a remake. It is slightly bigger, 41 millimeters, slightly thicker, and you really get something exclusive. And I think the watch is worth its money. And yeah, go have a look if you can. And if you have the chance, I think IWC boutiques should have the watch to show at least, and put it on your wrist, and you will like it because it is, in my humble opinion, a very, very cool chronograph. And I'm a little bit excited because it remembers me very much, on the time being when I started collecting watches. And I had one, but I sold it. As I told you, I sold it. I wanted to upgrade to the big double chronograph, and yeah, okay. So I had to say bye-bye to one of my babies. Okay, thank you very much, people, for watching this video. If you have questions, Ceratanium case, a mixture of titanium and zirconium oxide. Our in-house movement, column wheel, the look of the IWC chronographs as we had, change of position. If you have questions, use the comment section as always. Let me know what you think. Of course, your feedback is highly welcome. And thanks for watching. And let us see all together back very soon here on WatchAdvisor on YouTube. And bye-bye from today. Bye-bye now, and stay safe and sound. That's the most important thing these days. Bye-bye.